winner of the Nobel Peace Prize. In 2001, we profiled economist Muhammad Yunas and the pioneering bank he created in Bangladesh. NewsHour correspondent Fred DeSam Lazaro of Twin Cities Public Television has our encore report.
Nurul Islam has an unusual routine for a bank loan officer. Once a week, he comes to this shack to meet with his small business clients and to collect their loan installments. Unusual doesn't start to describe the borrowers. Most are female, illiterate, and before they joined this group, very poor. Not exactly a lucrative group to most bankers, especially since their typical loan is about $100. But these are preferred customers of the Grameen Bank. 2.4 million of them have made Grameen one of the most prosperous financial institutions in the developing world.
I didn't have a blueprint of any kind. I was not looking for a destination. All we are trying to do is to be helpful for today.
Muhammad Yunas was a young economics professor in 1974 when the idea of offering banking services to poor people, an idea that came to be called micro-lending, occurred to him. It was in the midst of one of this country's legendary natural disasters.
We had a famine in 1974. People were dying of hunger. And I find myself in a very strange situation, teaching elegant theories of economics, telling all my students that how every economic problem has beautiful solutions. And I walk out of the classroom, those elegant theories have no use for people who are dying.
Yunas wanted to apply some of his economic theories to the real world he saw. So he surveyed 42 small business owners, fruit vendors, artisans, rickshaw pullers, and found that just $27 would free the whole group from debts to local moneylenders, debts that kept them in almost lifelong bonded labor. Yunas decided to bankroll the group himself after failing to sell local bankers on the idea.
I soon found out that people are paying back, and they paid back every penny without any hitch. So I got very excited. So I thought I should have my own bank. So I went to the government with a proposal that I should be allowed to set up a bank.
Yunas began perhaps the first ever bank in which collateral was a bad word. The poorer a borrower, the more creditworthy. And there was no shortage of customers in this nation, where 130 million people inhabit a land area the size of Wisconsin, an area on the Asian subcontinent that's also constantly battered by storms and floods. Despite the continuing poverty, Grameen has had an enormous economic and social impact. Its loans have allowed some 2.4 million rural Bangladeshis to start small businesses. And it's given women new power in a traditional male-dominated society.
Women are very cautious with the use of the money, but the men were impatient. They wanted to enjoy right away. They will entertain friends, they will go to the movies, they will do whatever they could to enjoy for themselves personally. But women didn't look at it personally. Women looked at it for children, for the family, and so on, and for future.
Dilwara Begum became a Grameen borrower 11 years ago. She began with just one milk cow. Then about 4 years ago, another loan helped build a poultry barn, a productive enterprise that takes the whole family to manage. The weekly yield of about 7,000 eggs is picked up every other day and taken to the capital, Dhaka, about 3 hours away. Over the years, Dilwara Begum says life has changed in basic yet dramatic ways.
In the past, we used to eat nothing more than rice and some vegetables. Today, in each meal, there is egg, meat, or fish, at least one of them. Also, in the past, we used to grow enough rice for about 6 months of the year. The rest we had to buy. Sometimes we had to borrow money to buy the rice. Today, we grow enough rice for the whole year.
Dilwara and husband Nazimuddin also raise their own fish and poultry to meet much of their food needs. After all the expenses, they save about $100 each month, an impressive sum in Bangladesh. Even though 98% pay back their loans, only about a half of Grameen borrowers succeed in staying out of poverty. Still, Grameen and other microlending programs have brought significant overall improvement, notably in food production, according to Hussein Zilur Rahman, a scholar who has tracked poverty here.
I can bet my little savings that a famine in Bangladesh is not likely to occur, will not occur actually. The threat of famine has been defeated. That's a fantastic achievement actually.
For his part, Muhammad Yunas is now looking well beyond agriculture-based enterprises. Already, Grameen is the largest cell phone company in Bangladesh, vaulting a country barely wired for telephones into the age of the wireless.
Hello?
The phone rings often at the home of Dharani and Shamoli Sarkar. Theirs is the only phone in the village, financed by Grameen and rented out as a payphone to poultry farmers trying to reach a veterinarian in the city, for example, or expatriates like this one calling from the Persian Gulf oil fields to relatives back home.
Yes, sir? Okay.
Call back in 10 minutes, Sarkar instructed the caller as he set off to alert the family.